Hi, I'm Jonathan VanDyke, and I'm the 2022 Visual Artist in Residence for the Chelsea Music Festival. And I'm here in my exhibition at Highline 9, which is called How to Operate in a Blue Room. I'll say that I've worked with performers for probably about 15 years. I worked a lot with dancers whose clothing would often get stained as I was working with them in the studio with paint. And that was the beginning of sort of thinking through how to use clothing as a material in the painting process, but to then process it further until I sort of arrived at the types of work that we have here. This is the first performance that I've been able to create in which I'm working with vocalists. So I was really excited to work with the festival because I had this opportunity to add a sonic element to my work. Much of my performances, which tend to also have this temporal or time component, tend to be very long. And that duration is really interesting because, again, it has a different temporal quality than what we're used to every day, where everything is so fast and so quick and then forgotten. These two performers perform in relationship to each other over 3 hours, and because of that long duration, which is the performance itself all improvised during that time, they sort of exhaust their initial ideas about what to do and things that we've rehearsed, and then they have to go to a sort of deeper level of presence to each other and find other qualities, bring out other qualities through being tired, through being bored. Other things really sort of start to pop up almost from the subconscious. I'm really interested in creating performances which create a structure for this sort of slow time subtext, the subconscious, to emerge in ways that the audience can really come in and out of on their own time. Well, there's three qualities to this performance. So the first is the vocalization, which is all without words. So I really wanted to make a vocal piece that didn't have language in it, but that they would be making sounds that were abstract. The second quality is movement. So they're both vocalizing and moving. And I tell the performers that this installation, this art installation, this space is yours. You should occupy it as if it's your own home. And third, the third component, so you have vocalization, movement, and thirdly, relationship. So they're always performing in relation to each other. And the balance is interesting. How do you move and vocalize at the same time? How do you move and vocalize and stay present to your partner at the same time? So I think the audience can sort of find and discover these three qualities. They should find moments as audience where they're like, oh, that moment of harmonization is really beautiful. These are two people who are totally in sync. But then they'll also find moments where the performers are not in sync, where they're purposefully turning away from each other, where they're moving far apart from each other, where they sound different from each other. And that's a sort of presenting a set of philosophical questions about the nature of relationships. Do we need to be in sync in order to be in a dynamic relationship with each other? How do we form relationships which aren't always in sync? And the inspiration for a lot of this was the relationship between Felix and Fanny Mendelssohn, who were also the sort of focus of this year's festival.